Hello, and welcome to Steve's Mixtapes. My guest mixer this week made an unexpected but very welcome appearance in show 60, which is the fall online forum Mix It Up one. I interviewed Angus MacDonald, known as Sigma 2 on that forum, as one of the contributors, and his better half Lindsay joined him to discuss the music. And interestingly, she is the first guest on the show to select a mix that consists entirely of one genre, and that is because she is an avid collector of reggae and dub. So welcome to Steve's Mixtapes, Lindsay Boothman.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Yes, well, it's lovely to have you on, Lindsay. Lovely to see you again. So, Lindsay, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, first of all, I'm retired. I used to work in local government as a debt advisor. I guess that's the kind of boring bit about me. I'm a huge fan of reggae and actually quite a lot of different music as well. I'm a massively enthusiastic cook and I like to knit, and I'm passionate about Italian art.
Okay, that's an interesting mix of interests and hobbies. When did you become such a reggae and dub fan?
Well, reggae really has formed the major backdrop of my life. I didn't actually get particularly into it until 1994, but I actually met Angus at an Aswad gig in 1980. Okay. So reggae, it was the first time I'd ever heard reggae at this night. I just sort of went along randomly to Queen Margaret Union at Glasgow University on my own, and I met Angus. I'd never heard reggae before. We didn't actually get together as a couple for a couple of months. He had quite a few reggae records, so reggae was always around. But in 1994, Angus was reading the Wire magazine, and in it he read that a dub CD called Pick a Dub had been reissued. That's a Keith Hudson dub, and he'd wanted it for ages. So that was his Christmas present sorted. So I gave him this CD for Christmas, and it was fantastic. And it was the label Blood and Fire, which was a fantastic reissue label. You know the thing, once you find a good label, you got to get them all. A phrase you use, obviously.
I'm quite familiar with, yes.
Yes. So we started to collect the Blood and Fire CDs, and then Angus bought me The Rough Guide to Reggae, which was written by the owner of the Blood and Fire label. Now, this book was major. You got to get them all. And so I got working my way through it, buying all the essentials, but it didn't really get going until I discovered vinyl again. We were buying CDs because vinyl had been rubbish quality. And then one day in FOP, in Barge Road in Glasgow, I discovered a Burning Spear LP, his first LP for Studio One. And I bought a handful of cheap LPs from FOP, and that was my introduction to getting passionate about reggae, really.
Okay, and what is it about the genre you think that appeals to you so much?
It's a happy music. It's uplifting. It's quite varied. The tunes are memorable. And there's also, if you really get into it, there's lots of facts you can investigate. It's, apart from Northern Soul, it's probably the nerdiest genre there is. Once we get talking about the tunes, it'll become apparent what I'm really into about reggae.
Well, one thing I will say is, in many ways, this is the most challenging mix I've had so far in terms of tracking everything down and tracking down the right song and the right version of the right song, because it is a genre where you get multiple versions of songs by different people, etc., etc. And then there's the issue of things like rhythms, which I'll come to later on to ask you about that. I've learned quite a lot over the last year doing this. But thank you for keeping me right, because you sent me quite clear instructions about which songs you wanted it in which order. So that's made it good. But it has, it's meant I've learned quite a lot. And there won't be a Spotify playlist, obviously, or even a YouTube playlist for this mix. Some of the songs are just simply too hard to track down. But what I have done is made a sort of 40-odd minute continuous mix of all the songs, which I will both send to you on CD, Lindsay, and I'll also upload that to YouTube. So anyone who wants to listen to the whole thing in its glory, can do so. I've been listening to it quite a few times, that whole mix, and I really, really enjoyed it. So, the usual question then, even though you've picked all in one genre, I'm interested to know what your process was. How did you go about slotting reggae tunes into all of these categories?
Well, it was really, really hard. There were certain tunes that I knew I absolutely had to have, but the new category, I couldn't think of anything that fitted the category. I was thinking, is there a track called a new dub version? I couldn't think of anything. International was a tricky one as well, because it's all Jamaican, isn't it?
Well, you've gone for an interesting choice with that, but
we'll discuss
when we get to it. I mean, I have to say, we'll talk about it when we get to it. Your Something New is a terrible cheat, and the worst cheat we've had, really, since my wife was on. But again, we'll talk about it. So tell me about...
I will explain myself. When I was making the mix, I used to be a DJ for reggae. So I put the mix together thinking about doing a set. It had to fit the categories, and it also had to flow. I didn't want to have something fast, then something really slow, then something fast again. I started fast from I Get the Party Started, and the pace, it changed, but it flowed. And that's how I would have done it as a DJ. So I was thinking about a small DJ set when I was doing this.
Well, if people would like to listen to that sort of continuous mix that I've done, I think they'll find that it does flow really nicely. I've really enjoyed it.
Good.
So let's get on to Hit the Ground Running track. Now, we're starting with a bit of Rocksteady. And this is Alton Ellis, who I believe is called the godfather of Rocksteady.
Yes. This song was on one of those LPs that I bought in FOP as my reintroduction to vinyl. So it's got sentimental attachment on that front. Also, as a DJ, it was my first tune ever played out.
And I was aware of Rocksteady, and I'll say this about several of the terms I go through without really knowing what it was. So Rocksteady took ska and slowed it down a bit, and from that came a bit more of the emphasis on bass. Is that right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And the song you've gone for is called Dance Crasher, and this is an anti-violence song. You don't have to read a lot into the lyrics to understand that. And I gather this is a bit of a reaction to the rude boy culture?
That's right. It was recorded at Duke Reid's Treasure Isle studio. And what was funny about Duke Reid, he was a former policeman and he had a gun license. And if he particularly liked a tune, he would fire his gun. I don't know what he did if he didn't like a tune.
From 1965, that was Alton Ellis and the Flames with Dance Crasher. There was a line in this, Lindsay, that confused me. It says, be a glim fibre instead of a dance crasher. What is a glim fibre?
I have absolutely no idea.
Oh, right, okay,
I don't think I've even spotted that line. I don't
right.
really go for lyrics particularly.
Okay.
I didn't spot that line.
Well, the lyrics are quite easy to follow because it's quite not a criticism. It's quite a simplistic lyric. But it got to that bit, I thought, what is that? So I looked it up, and yeah, glim fibre. And I did try Googling it to no avail. But so if anybody out there knows what a glim fibre is, do tell me. Right. Okay. So the usual mixer question we have at this point, Lindsay, is: are you somebody who's always enjoyed making mixes, etc.? I guess with your DJing background, the answer is yes.
Yes, but I've never ever recorded anybody at a mixtape. Never.
Okay.
Nope, never. But yeah, the DJing was a live mixtape, I guess.
Okay. Did Angus ever make you a mixtape?
He made me a reggae mixtape.
All right.
About 1982, I would say. But that was it.
Right, well, we'll go into your something old choice then, Lindsay. So this is from 1976, so it just squeezes in. And it's Merlin Webber. So I became aware that I already knew Merlin Webber. I knew her cover of First Cut is the Deepest. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
Oh, right. Okay, well, I'll put a link to it on the webpage. I really like it. I had it on a compilation. I'm hoping now that I've got the right person. Yeah. I think it's on the same album that this is on. It was from an album called Once You Hit the Road. But I'm presuming you own this as a single.
Yes, I've got that song, Once You Hit the Road, as a single.
Right, okay.
Yes.
Right, so the song you've gone for is called No More Running. So tell us why you chose this one.
Well, it's a great song. It's a nice vocal. But what I like about it is it references one of the old Studio One rhythms, Mad Mad, which was an Alton Ellis song. In reggae, they reuse the rhythms over and over again.
Yeah, so this is rhythms, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to say it because I always call it rhythm, but yeah, it would be written as rhythm.
Yeah.
The rhythm's Mad Mad. So when the song starts and you hear the horns going da 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 da, sorry about that, then you know it's the Mad Mad rhythm. So it's the reusing of the rhythms that is what I really like about reggae. Also, this particular song, when I bought it in a record shop called Reggae Revive in Kensal Green in London, the guy had one copy of it. And when he was playing it, he wanted to keep it for himself to DJ with. And I looked really, really disappointed because I loved it. And actually, if you flip the single, the version is absolutely fantastic. I would have included the version, but I wasn't sure what it was actually called.
Okay.
It said Jazz Power on the other side of my single, but I don't know if that's what the dub version is called. So yeah, I wanted this record, and I think I looked so disappointed he let me have it. So it was nearly the one that got away. So I've had a sentimental attachment to that, and it was one that I would play out.
No more running for me, baby. Oh no, no more running around. 'Cause I found a God to make me satisfied, and I'm going.
No More Running by Merlin Webber, the Something Old choice of my guest mixer this week, Lindsay Boothman. The one that interesting I learned about Merlin Webber is she's lived in Toronto since 1969. Did you know that?
Well, a lot of Jamaicans emigrated to Canada.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I mean, I don't really know anything about her much. I wasn't even sure when I suggested this one that it was going to be available, because I know that one of the tunes I wanted, there was just no sign of it.
Okay.
I could have wanted this one just on the off chance. So I don't really know anything about her, apart from she did duet with her sister in a duet called the Webber Sisters. Her and sister,
Yes.
her sister. Yeah.
Yeah, I read that. I found a little article about it, not very long, but I'll stick a link up to that on the webpage as well. Right, on to something new. Now, before we discuss your dubious choice, do you keep up a lot with contemporary music?
No, not really. I have a lot of singles and reggae LPs and CDs, and you can have too much. I'm a bit overwhelmed. Getting to know everything is quite difficult. You can play things a couple of times and then you file them away, play them again a few years later, and you never fully know your collection. So I kind of feel as though I've got enough. I did buy quite a few dancehall tunes at the start of the decade, mainly to DJ with. It got people dancing, slightly up tempo, although some of the lyrics you had to watch what you played because a lot of them are a bit homophobic and don't play them obviously. But I didn't really keep ahead of it that much. So yeah, finding something new was really hard. And you're probably thinking, why on earth this one? Because it's from 1986. So I mean, it's 40 years old.
Well, all I would say is it's down as your something new, but I was in the sixth form when this came out.
Oh, right. Well, okay, it's taken the something new a little bit far, but it actually starts with the mad horn riff. But it's just a bit more up tempo. It's the same tune as Merlin Webber, but it sounds a bit different. So it's a new version of Mad. That was my reasoning.
All right then. Well, I'll let you off because I enjoyed the mix so much. So this is Tenor Saw, and it's interesting to find some of these guys what their real names were. So his real name was Clive Bright, and he was a Jamaican dancehall sing J. It said on the Wikipedia page in the 1980s. So this is somebody who basically just sings over the top of these rhythms, as you described.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And it also said considered one of the most influential singers of the early digital reggae era. Yes,
I mean he did one of the most popular rhythms, Stalag.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what year it was. He died very unfortunately in a car crash.
Yes, he died. Well, I looked this up. He died aged only 21.
Yeah.
In 1988. It was a hit and run accident in Houston, Texas. The Wikipedia page says that a few sources suggest he was murdered, but the two links with that are both dead links. So, if you'll pardon the pun, so I don't know what evidence there is for any sort of idea that he might have been murdered. But yeah, he certainly died very young. But yeah, it's a great song. Let's hear it now. This is Golden Hen.
My golden hen, tick-a-tick-a-tock, my golden hen, tick-a-tick-a-tock, my golden hen. She lay next for the gentleman, sometime 9 and sometime 10. Oh, and whenever she lay, she make an alarm, cock, 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 me lay-o, lay-o, whoa, lay-o, whoa, whoa, searching for morning. My golden hen, got a little girl at my home. She wake up this morning, she didn't eat no breakfast, no. She wake up this morning, she no eat no breakfast. She leave out my home and she faint in the path. She give my neighborhood lots of remarks, lots of remarks. She give them lots of remarks, lots of remarks. It was not my fault when she faint in the path. Lord God, no. Hey, little girl, don't be like a rolling calf. Oh, before the wind, you're gonna be like a shaft. If you leave like a rolling 9 and sometime 10. Whoa, whenever she lay low, she make an alarm. Cock, 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 Leo, 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 whoa, Leo, whoa. But I'm in searching for morning, from a golden end. Whoa, but I'm in searching for morning, morning, from a golden end. Because she's my best friend. Because she's my best friend. Searching for morning, morning. Because she's my best friend. Whoa, whoa. Ticka, ticka, tock, my golden end. Come on back, come on back. Ticka, ticka, tock, my golden end. Come on back, back, come on back. Whoa, I beg you please come on back, girl. So, ticka, ticka, tock, my golden end. She lay next for the gentleman. Sometime 9 and sometime 10. Whoa, and whenever she lay, she make an alarm. Cock, 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 Leo, 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 whoa, Leo, whoa. Girl, you know that I love you badly. I wouldn't like it end up sadly. Girl, you know that I love you badly. I wouldn't like it end up sadly. Girl, come home, girl, come home. Don't be a runaround. Don't be a runaround. Please come home. Ticka, ticka, tock, my golden end. She lay next for the gentleman. Sometime 9, sometime 10.
On to something borrowed. Now, Lindsay, one of the great things about this doing this show is it sends you off on little down rabbit holes, as you can imagine. So I wrote down, as well as regular listeners will know, I tend to give these mixes a listen through as far as possible without any context. So I listen through before I've looked anything up or all the rest of it. And I wrote down next to this one, I tend to write like little comments next to each song. I wrote down jazzy reggae next to this one, which was interesting because I found out that this song was also done by Les McCann. And I listened to his version, famous version, recorded at the Montreux Jazz Festival in 1969. Have you heard that?
No, the only other version I've heard of it is by the Rance Allen Group.
Oh, right. Well,
And
apparently.
it's awful. It's
Oh, right. Okay. So the song was written by Gene McDaniels. It's a protest song.
Yeah.
Les McCann, the jazz pianist and vocalist, did it in 1966, but it didn't become famous for him, as I say, until he did a live version at Montreux in 1969. It was also recorded by Roberta Flack,
Yes.
which I'll put a link up if I can find that as well. But I really liked this version, and I really loved the Les McCann version. I'll put a link to the video, and it absolutely blew me away. Absolutely fabulous stuff. But this version is recorded by Jerry Jones. So she was actually American. And she went to play at the Kingston Hotel and fell in love with Jamaica. And that sort of began as a story of her recording for Studio One. Have I got all that right?
Yeah, that's right. Cox and Dodge was in the audience
Yeah.
at one of those charity performances and invited her down to record an LP. I've got the LP. The title track is Compared to What? It's not bad. It's not great. There's a few ballads that don't work that well, I don't think. But when I first heard this, it was just at the time of the invasion of Iraq. And when I heard it, the line, the president's got his war, folks don't know just what it's for. No one gives us rhyme or reason. You have a doubt, they call it treason. That line really leapt out at me. It struck me as a really pertinent song to play at the time. So I did play that one out quite a lot. And obviously the lyric still applies, doesn't it?
Well, yes, it was written about the Vietnam War.
That's
but
right.
Yeah, it could be applied to any decade since, couldn't it? So, yeah, no,
Yes.
really like this. And it was really interesting to listen to it, go to the Les McCann version and go back and compare the two. It's great. So I really enjoyed this. So this is Jerry Jones with Compared to What?
Said I love to lie, lie to love, hanging on with the push the slaughterhouse is killing hogs, twisted children are killing frogs, poor dumb red men are rolling logs, tired old women are kissing dogs, and I hate that human love, stinking mud. Try to make it real. Compared to what? Say the president has got his war. Folks don't know just what it's for. No one gives a rightful reason. You had a doubt, they call it treason. Say we're chicken feathers, all about one gut. We're trying to make it real. Compared to what? Go to church on Sunday, sleep and nod, trying to duck the wrath of God. Preacher feeling a spite, telling what you think is right, but he must be some kind of stupid nut. He's trying to make it real. Yeah, try to make it real, real, real. Try to make it real, 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 real. Try to make it real, 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 real. Just trying to make it all real. Trying to make it all real. Where's that bee? And where's that honey? Where's my God? And where's my money? Unreal values, practice extortion, unwed mothers, misleading abortion. And it kind of brings to mind, whoa, King Tut, he tried.
Jerry Jones with Compared to What, a single from 1971 on the Studio One label, which I believe is a particular favourite of yours, Lindsay.
Yes, it is. You can tell that she's not a Jamaican singer. You can tell she's an American, but the backing track, it's got that Studio One sludgy sound. It's quite... The individual instruments aren't particularly clear. It's a sound rather than various instruments. And you get that throughout the Studio One catalogue.
Okay. Well, that Jerry Jones album is on Bandcamp, so I'll put a link to that so people can have a listen to that or buy that if they want to. And we shall move on to your Something Blue. And I really like this one as well. And another great real name. So this is Dillinger, real name Lester Randall Bullock. And the song is Kilimanjaro. But this is one where I was sort of investigating and finding out. So there seems to be lots of different versions of this as well. So what rhythm is this one?
It's Freedom Blues.
All right, yes.
Why I've put it onto the category Something Blue. I knew instantly I was going to have this. I mean, Freedom Blues, the song, it started out as a Little Richard song. It's a great Little Richard song. But a guy called Roy Richards, he's usually a harmonica player, recorded this at Studio One. We're always coming back to Studio One. The song itself, without the DJ over it, it's a nice enough tune, but it's not fantastic. But the rhythm is brilliant. Dillinger actually recorded 4 different cuts of this. I like Kilimanjaro. The only other one I've heard is Kung Fu Fighting. I've not heard the other 2. I like Kilimanjaro because it's got a substantial amount of the original vocalist on it. A DJ cut is a cut of something, usually another vocal. And I like to hear the other vocal to some extent because then it makes it sound as though they're duetting. Although the tracks were recorded 5 years apart, I think the original was 1970, whereas Dillinger was 1975. I actually looked up a website that gives you loads of information about who did all the rhythms, and there were, I think it was 84 different versions of Freedom Blues.
And I understand, looking into Dillinger a bit, his most successful song was "Cocaine in My Brain."
Yes, that's right. Everyone knows it.
Well, I didn't until this week. But
oh, right. Okay.
Well, I knew the line from various hip hop songs that's been used, but I hadn't heard that the original of that.
All right.
So let's hear it now. This is Dillinger and Kilimanjaro.
Freedom is what the world needs today, baby. Freedom is what the world needs today, baby. Right on.
I hope that I shall live to see, yeah. With every mention, now she's free, yeah.
10,000 Babylon don't want to set me free. 20,000 data out there crazy over me. So blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the ways of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but is the lightning of the Lord God, the Rastafari, who I and I meditate day and night. And this man shall be like the tree that planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in due season, and that's my reason. Yeah, say the kings of kings and the Lord of lords, the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, ever living God, earth rightful ruler. Yeah,
True.
freedom is what the world needs today, baby.
I heard her calling me like you did.
Freedom songs, you know.
Now everybody got to be free
Freedom
now.
And this a freedom sound, cause this a Kilimanjaro. This if you wipe away your sorrow, and you will live to see tomorrow, cause this a Kilimanjaro. Yeah. Right now me I tell a man simply just look into himself and know him culture, and try to read the promised land. I say, this a Kilimanjaro. Say we trade, don't borrow. If you wipe away your sorrow, and you will live to see tomorrow. Some people talking this and that, talking about hearted and cow fat, but you know they don't know where it's at. But I want it to get down, I know what is freedom. The trade want freedom. The trade want freedom. Black man want freedom. Everyone want freedom. Even the young or even the old, everyone want freedom. Everyone want to be free to do his own thing. Everyone wants to come on down and say something. Yeah.
Everybody got to be free.
Kilimanjaro. Say we just don't borrow. Not stand it in the ways of sinners.
Right then, Lindsay, we're moving on to your Take It Down choice. Now, this is one of the artists that seems to have spelt his name in multiple different ways. So his real name is Derek Thompson, but he goes by Shorty the President, and various variations thereof. I looked up on Discogs this actual single that you've chosen, and it seems to be on the label. It's spelt Shorty the President. So President, as you would normally spell it, but with a C before the T at the end.
Oh, well, my label says Shorty Air.
Okay. Well, okay. So this is the first of a couple of songs where you wanted me to sort of put two bits together. So
yes.
Is this the main song and a dub version, this one then?
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
So the Take It Down bit is the dub. Now, if you're going to have a dub, you've got to have a dub of something, which is why I wanted the vocal. And when I was DJing, I would play one after the other.
Right. Okay.
like a disco mix effect.
When it starts, people will think that this doesn't necessarily sound very Take It Down.
That's true. But the dub takes it down. So this is a Joe Gibbs production. Joe Gibbs productions are great. If you get a Joe Gibbs dub, he's the guy who would have cows mooing, phones ringing, doorbells going, all sorts of little effects. I think this is a fantastic record.
How nice it is for your parents to send you to school and to know that he or she money is not going in vain. Baby girl, you got to be keen and really, really play for you. School time, I really tell you. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Figure do the only gully. Yeah, figure do the only gully. In a me khaki suit and ting. In a me KC tie and ting. Me say me nah eat me name for no bulla. We nah eat we name for no bulla. Son, no let down your mother. Son, no let down your father. Your parents really love you when you hold up them head. Your parents really love you when you hold up them head. Don't skull no schooling. These are sounds say no skull no schooling. Yeah. So whether your lunch money big or it's small, or whether your parents rich or they poor, me say no skull no schooling. These are sounds say no skull no schooling. Yeah. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Figure do the only gully. I figure do the only gully. In a me khaki suit and ting. In a me KC tie and ting. He say me nah eat me name for no bulla. Son, nah eat me name for no bulla. He say no let down your mother. Son, he say no let down your father. Your parents really love you when you hold up them head. Your parents really love you when you hold up them head. Don't skull no schooling, my brother. Don't skull no schooling. These are sounds say no skull no schooling. Yeah. I don't want my black youth of today to live and fret and regret. Me say no skull no schooling. These are sounds say no skull no schooling. Yeah. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Don't skull school and go in a the gully. Figure do the
Shorty the President and Don't Skulk School and Holly Gully Rock, the Take It Down choice of my guest this week, Lindsay Boothman. One thing that stuck out for me there, Lindsay, is there's a line in there that reminded me of Althea and Donna. Do you remember Althea and Donna? I presume you do.
Uptown Top Ranking.
Yes. So there's a bit.
That was a Joe Gibbs production.
All right. Okay. Well, there's a bit about the khaki suit in there.
Yes.
Which I must say, when I was a kid, when was Althea and Donna? When I was about 11 years old, it was in the charts. I always thought they were singing about a McCartney suit.
Oh,
I just thought it was something to do with the Beatles. I know.
The khaki suit and ting.
Well, to be fair, an 11-year-old growing up in the northeast of England, I loved that Althea and Donna single, but I didn't understand a word of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay. Normally, before the Around the World choice, I ask people if they listen to a lot of music that isn't from the US or the UK. It seems a fairly redundant question here. So we'll get straight on to your Around the World choice.
Well,
It's
I'm
really...
going to answer it.
You answer it then. Go on.
One of my absolute favourites is Einstürzen Neubauten. Yeah, Einstürzen Neubauten are my favourite group.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Seems quite distant from what I've listened to of this playlist.
Absolutely. They do have, on one of the CDs, there are several dubs. I did think about maybe including one of those for international, but it just wouldn't have worked.
No.
It wouldn't have worked at all, so I thought we'll forget that. No, I absolutely love Einstürzen Neubauten. I used to always play them in the car going to work. Always send me off for the day.
Okay. Well, what you've gone for a really interesting choice here because, well, for a number of reasons, it's interesting. Firstly, about 4 weeks ago, we had David Pisker, an Australian DJ, on, and he chose a song by this artist's daughter. And this is an artist who I've always liked. A lot of people only know him for one song.
Yeah.
But he has, if anyone's ever heard the Melody Nelson album, will know that he's capable of an awful lot more than that. But I must confess, I didn't know of this album. So this is Serge Gainsbourg. And tell us about this album, Lindsay.
Well, I heard Serge do a couple of reggae tracks on a compilation that Angus owns. He was a big Serge fan, and I thought they were god-awful. I mean, really dreadful. They just didn't work. Well, you know what Serge is like, Je t'aime and Melody.
Well, to be honest, I found the first time he did a reggae song, as far as I'm aware, was back in '76 with a song called Marilou Reggae, which I didn't think was terribly good.
Well, Angus then bought a box set of complete albums of Serge Gainsbourg, and in it, there was a reggae album. Now, I was ready to be absolutely appalled. But then when he came to play it, it was actually okay. It worked. The thing about it is, he had a stab at doing it properly. He went to Dynamic Studios in Jamaica. He got Sly and Robbie in, musicians of the day, and he had the i3s on backing vocals. So he was having a good stab at making a decent reggae album.
Rita Marley's on this, isn't she?
Yeah, she was in the i3s. Apparently, Bob was really cross that she was going to work with Serge because he was a bit of a louche character.
I think that's putting it very mildly, Lindsay.
Yes.
But the album's a big success. So as you say, he went to Kingston. He got the cream of the album's musicians to play with him. It sold over 1 million copies in 1979, and it sold bundles in France, Belgium, and Switzerland as well. Apparently, went down a storm in Switzerland. So there you go. Now you've gone for the title track, which I must confess, until I read about it, hadn't realised is a reggae adaptation of Le Marseillaise.
That's right.
Yeah, it doesn't leap out at you that it's that.
No, but when you hear the words, along sort of forms like a trio. But apparently, when this came out, it caused an absolute outrage.
Yes, it did.
Because the French people thought he bastardized the national anthem. by not having the chorus proper, but having the refrain, aux armes, etc. This was a dreadful thing to the national anthem. But Serge, I think this is fascinating. He actually bought the original manuscript of the song. And the writer of the song, in the margins for the chorus, had written, aux armes, etc. So that was the lyric. So Serge won the day. He was right.
Allons enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant élevé.
Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc.
Entendez-vous dans les campagnes mugir ces féroces soldats? Ils viennent jusque dans nos bras, égorger nos fils, nos compagnes.
Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc.
Amour sacré de la patrie, conduit, soutient nos braves vengeurs. Liberté, liberté chérie, combat avec tes défenseurs.
Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc.
Nous entrerons dans la carrière quand nos aînés n'y seront plus. Nous y trouverons leur poussière et la trace de leur vertu.
Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes. 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 Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc. Aux armes, etc.
Right then, Lindsay, on to your left of centre choice. And for left of centre, you've gone for something that's very dubby, I would say. That's my sort of very amateur summation of it. So this is Dr. Alimantado, if I'm saying it correctly. And I understand Johnny Rotten was a big fan.
That's right, yes. Dr. Alimantado made a fantastic album called The Best Dressed Chicken in Town. It's quite wild and wacky. Lee Perry production. It's got lots of Lee Perry hallmarks on it. But I went for this. It was in the first ever Blood and Fire CD, If DJ Was Your Trade. The reason I chose this as left of centre, with the DJ track, conventionally it starts with you hear a bit of the vocal, you might get a little bit of a dub, the DJ comes in, the song progresses. Great. This one, there's a lot going on. The song is a DJ cut of the Delroy Wilson song, Mash Up Illiteracy, which is a really nice track in itself. It's a Bunny Lee production. So it starts with a little bit of the Delroy Wilson, then Dr. Alimantado comes in, you get a little bit of a dub. That sounds fairly conventional. But then all sorts of things start to come into the mix. You've got Prince Jazzbo DJing in the background, and then you've got Bunny Lee and King Tubby talking. We get to hear King Tubby's voice. How good's that?
Mm.
And the song never got released at the time either.
Oh, okay. Well, I have to say, I loved all of this playlist. This one and the Dillinger one are probably closest to the sort of reggae I would choose to listen to as a rule.
Yes, it's the more rootsy end, isn't it?
Right. Okay. If you say so, I'll trust you on that, Lindsay. I like it when it's all quite deep and spacey and almost a bit ambient. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, my taste in reggae is kind of more the soulful end.
Okay. Okay.
A lot of the stuff I like is old soul covers, like Motown covers,
All right. Okay.
like what feels strong compositions, covers of Curtis Mayfield tracks. That's really my favourite type of reggae. But I do like the roots and dub as well.
Come make we mash down. Wish I could have mash it up. Make we mash down. Wish I could have mash it up, mash it up, mash it up. That's what the man say. Wish I could have mash it up, mash it up, mash. And show it away. That's what the man say. Mash up. Illiteracy, make we mash up. Poverty, come make we mash it up, mash it up, mash it up. And deal with some kind of progress, I say. Come make we mash it up, mash it up, mash it up. Cause in this time everyone need to live good. In this time everyone need a good home. In this time everyone need a good house, y'all. And would I leave it up the rightful way? So I'll fight for a better day. I make we live it up, live it up. Yeah, I make we live it in a Babylon, take it to Zion. Live it in a Babylon, take it in a Zion. Live it in a Babylon. So we can know how to live that when we go to Zion. Won't be no problem, y'all. Cause we'll be dealing with progress going in Babylon. So when we go to Zion, we'll deal with righteousness, say. But we have to mash up in a Babylon, step it in a wish I could have mash it up, mash it up, mash it up, and throw it away, yeah. Wish I could have mash it up, mash it up. And show it away, that's what the man say. I make we mash up. Literacy, make we mash up. Poverty, I make we mash it up, mash it up, mash it up. We mash it in a Babylon, step it in a Zion. Mash it in a Babylon, step it in a Zion. And build a better country. Wish I could have mashed in a Babylon, step it in a Zion. I make we mash it in a Babylon, step it in a Zion.
Mash It Up by Dr. Alimantado, the left of centre choice on Steve Mixtapes this week by Lindsay Boothman. Right, onto your wild card. Now, this was probably the most complicated one for me to put together. This is a name that probably quite a few people will know. This is Dennis Brown. But I had to put 3 different tracks together, and I hope I've done it correctly. It comes out as something like about 7.5 minutes, I think, but it's well worth listening to. So we've got Westbound Train, Ride On, and Wild Goose Chase. Do you want to talk us through how this all works, how it all links together?
Well, the Dennis Brown song is great. It's a Niney production. Niney did a lot of Dennis Brown tracks. I think Dennis Brown recorded his best stuff for Niney and the Observer, and then King Tubby did a lot of dubs for Niney. So you get the song Ride On. It's a great soul track, I think. His voice is in fantastic form. Then I've got this as a single. It's not an original pressing. The other side was Ride On, Big Youth. This was what I originally wanted. But then what you came up with was Wild Goose Chase. I prefer the Ride On because it's got more of the vocal. As I said earlier, I think with the DJ cut, you want it to be as though the artists are duetting. Whereas the Wild Goose Chase is a little bit of vocal, but it's mostly Big Youth. But then I remembered one of the Blood and Fire CDs is called Microphone Attack, and it's DJs at Niney's studio. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be good to have it all running together? So I got 3 tracks in one, which I know is cheating, but I think it works absolutely fantastically.
Whoa, whoa, yeah. now our love must end. You'll never ever see me again, my friend, because I'll be taking the strain. I'll be taking the westbound train. I'll be going to a place where there is happiness. So you'll never ever see me again. I'll be taking the westbound train. You'll never ever see me again, my friend. No, you'll never ever see me too. Whoa, cherry baby. I've gotta find you, baby, because I never knew you were like that. The one to make me sad. And now I'm in a very, very steep position. So that's why this train won't miss me, because I've gotta find my cherry baby. You'll never ever see me. No. Whoa.
But to me they don't know where it's at. Go on and say something. Right on, brother. Right on. Right on, yeah. Right on. Right on. Right on. Yeah. I can't believe that it's real. No, no. The way they makes me feel. I mean, it's hurting deep down inside. Yeah, because they don't know where it's at. Right on, right on, right on, right on, right on, brother, right on, right on, right on, right on. You got to keep the song to keep you on, and then you got to get it in the groove and hear me give you good stuff and sound show up. Good stuff and sound from the feet come and reach. And got to get the stuff to make the east get jump and twist and move and go and let them sing along the line. And got to make it really, tell them one time, and brother Dennis sound say. Right on, yeah. Right on. Right on. Right on. No. Right on. Until them both son got to get yourself together. Got to come and live in love and unity is out. Got to get yourself together. I can't believe that it's real. The way that makes me feel. A cat shouldn't say nothing he don't know. When you say something, you gotta be certain of what you say. So don't you come to say you're this and that. No, you come to, no, you never come to do that, I would say. No. Don't ever say that. Don't you. I'm designed to be the song called the Wild Goose Chase. Sound within a rage so you could never underrate. Check it out. Down inside, I will not take that, but I will not hide. You don't check that, I would say. No. tell you that.
So they better go to hell.
Them go to well, as I would say.
Go to hell, evil people.
Oh, go to well and tell the devil that I sent you. Go to well, as I would. And go to well, as I would tell them about the life of brother Dennis Brown, as I would say.
You're trying to keep me down, yeah.
They couldn't do as I would say. And me that me shall run down. Then it's alive, as I would say. Sing along, brother. And sing alive, as I would.
I can't believe that it's real.
No, 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 no,
The
no,
way
no,
they makes me feel.
no, 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 Lord.
It's hurting deep down inside. Oh,
I can dig it.
I'll never hide.
I never, never, never.
The wildcard choice: Dennis Brown and Big Youth, Westbound Train, Ride On, and Wild Goose Chase. Interesting fella, Dennis Brown. I gather Bob Marley cited him as his favourite singer. And he's another one that died early, age 42 in 1999, drug-related. A bit sad, but yeah, quite a big name. He recorded more than 75 albums. Quite a number of these guys were quite prolific, weren't they?
Yes, and he started his career at Studio One. He was a child star at Studio One.
Yes, he was aged 11, I think, when he first recorded something. So,
Right.
fair play to him. Right, we'll get onto your finale track in a moment, Lindsay, but I normally ask people when we get to this stage. We are getting towards halfway through 2026 now. It's the 1st of May. What does the rest of 2026 have in store for you?
Oh, well, that's a bit of a sore point.
Okay.
About this time, we'd normally be planning going away quite a lot. A few trips abroad, usually the spring break, and then in autumn we tend to go away abroad to Italy a couple of times. But Angus broke his ankle 6 months ago, so it all depends on him making a good recovery. He is mobile, he is driving, but he's not mobile enough to go abroad. We've got a couple of trips to London lined up. We're going to the theatre and to see some art. And I think the beginning of June, or is it the end of June, we're going to go to Glasgow to see some friends that we haven't seen for a year. So that'll be good. But if all goes well, we're going to go to Milan in autumn.
Okay, lovely. Right, on to your finale, and a very, very famous name, and another one with a great real name as well. So I learned doing your mix that King Tubby, I'm sure people would be familiar with, his real name was Osborne Ruddock.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, great name. Often cited as the inventor of the remix.
It's probably not strictly true, but his remixes were the best.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm getting this from Wikipedia, but Wikipedia says he is often cited as the inventor of the concept of the remix.
Right. Well, the first ever dub album was Aquarius dub. It was Herman Chenloy. Also, Cox and Dawes at Studio One, he claimed to invent dub, but he claimed to invent everything.
Okay.
So you can take that with a pinch of salt.
But he's an interesting guy, isn't he? Because he became famous without being a performer.
That's right, yeah. He was an engineer. He also fixed things. He built his own studio. He pioneered the uses of slides to mix rather than knobs to twiddle, because to slide was quicker than to turn knobs. If your TV broke down or your radio broke down, you took it to Tubby's and he mended it. He had his own hi-fi system, King Tubby's Hometown Hi-Fi, I think it was called. He had Uroy toasting on it. So yeah, he was an engineer. And
another one who came to a rather tragic end as well.
Yes, he was murdered.
Yeah, shot dead outside his house, believed to be part of a robbery, I think. But yeah, another.
And the murderer was never found.
Yeah. Now, I mean, there are a million tracks with King Tubby's name on. Why particularly Planet Dub?
Well, the thing is, end with a flourish.
Okay.
And so I had to go out with a flourish. I can hummed and hawed whether to end with a roaring ska track. But I went for this. It starts out quite slowly. You think this isn't much of a finale. I'll say it's a Harry Moody production. Harry Moody was kind of, his trademark was tinkly piano and strings. A lot of his productions were actually quite cheesy. He made an album called It May Sound Silly, which is all cheesy strings over reggae tracks. But this one, halfway through it, the strings suddenly come in, and that's where we get the flourish. It just suddenly goes whoosh, your heart rate goes whoosh. It's a fantastic track. It's a real flourish, and it actually turns into Holtzy's Planet Suite.
I mean, I really like this. I would say, I've told you which were my two favourites. This and the Jerry Jones one probably vie for third place for me. I really like this. It almost has a slightly ambient feel, and there were little bits of it. There's a little keyboard part that made me think a little bit of Kraftwerk. Does that make sense?
Oh, I'll have to play it again. And
Oh well, play it again. See
that had never crossed my mind.
All right. Well, it just
That's interesting.
well, the sort of third or fourth time I played it, I thought, what is that reminding me of? And it was a bit of Kraftwerk. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a mad connection for me. But let's see what everybody else thinks. So here's King Tubby with Planet Dub. Planet Dub by King Tubby, the finale track of my guest mixer this week, Lindsay Boothman. So, Lindsay, just remains for me to thank you very much for coming on. I know you put a lot of thought into doing this mix. So thank you for doing that.
It took me ages to come up with it, didn't it? I was working on it for ages. I really wanted to get it just right.
Yes.
I did think, wouldn't it be good just to do a Studio One mixtape?
Okay.
But I kind of thought that might be a bit boring for people.
Well, I enjoyed it thoroughly. It took us a long time to get here from when the idea was first mooted, but it's very much been well worth it. I would recommend that you go to the page at stevesmixtapes.com, look at the video I've uploaded of the continuous mix and give it a good listen, because I think it is a really excellent mix. So thank you, Lindsay. I hope you've enjoyed doing it and coming on.
Yeah, I have. It's been really good. It's really interesting talking to somebody you've never met before as well.
Okay.
I really enjoyed putting this together. Thanks a lot.